What's up, summoners? King Blair here. We are back in our usual setup, so we will be streaming tonight. But for today, for this video, we will be talking about the balance patch that Smilegate just put out. What units you need to watch out for, and what changes are kind of like really cool. So if you like the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and join the Discord link. Thank you so much for all the support you have been giving me for the subscribers. Let's keep that subscriber count up. If we want to keep growing the channel, do more cool things, we got to keep subscribing. So if you like the content and you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing. Also, if you would like to help the channel financially, consider becoming a member and getting some cool Discord stuff. But alright, without further ado, let's actually get into the video. So, spoiler, I do have to go cover this first or talk about it real quick because I promised you guys a Ravi full guide and I kept putting it off, and then Smilegate just gave Ravi a buff. So, again, the video will have to be delayed, but at least now I will be able to showcase it to you guys with the new buff. So, I'm actually pretty excited about that. So Ravi, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm actually pretty hyped for it. So if you guys haven't seen my Ravi, I have it plus 16, I have it plus everything. I will be putting out the guide when that buff does drop that week, just to make sure, unless it's one of the weeks that I'm going to be super busy. So it depends, but I should have it out for you guys. And just be ready for that. So I do want to talk about that. I didn't think she needed a buff, but Smilegate was like, "Oh, King Blair is doing a full guide. Time to make him postpone it again." They did the exact same thing when I was trying to do the Melissa buff, the Melissa guide. But all right, enough about that. Let's actually get to the actual patch. This is what you actually came here for. All right. So this patch, overall thoughts. It's weird. I think none of the units that are here really needed a buff. They were all usable. There was definitely other units that definitely needed the buff more, but I'm not complaining. A lot of these units they could benefit from a buff. They were kind of like falling off the meta. So it's definitely, it's like kind of like telling you guys, hey, these units still exist. I don't think there's anything stupid game breaking. Just it's kind of like make some units really nice. The only one I do think, I'll talk about it when I get to her, to these two, but I think these two will actually be kind of significant once we get to them. You guys will see what I'm talking about once we get to these two, because it's actually pretty, they actually might become meta. But alright, let's actually go in it. They did miss Haste, they did miss Sage, they missed a lot of other units that kind of needed it, but not bad, you know, definitely not units that were already broken and needed a buff. Like, there are units that definitely could use it. But alright, the big one, first starting with Silverblade Armentia, this is actually the big one that I was telling you guys about just a second ago. This one, I actually see Silverblade Armentia coming back and becoming a threat in the meta. Or a very good option. At the least, a very good option for control team. And why? She was already a good unit, but why does this buff make her better? So first off, the S2 buff is probably what puts her back into relevancy and puts her into being a very strong unit. So now her S2, if you guys didn't know, when she S1s an enemy that is burnt, her S1 also has a chance to burn itself, so you could burn and then go into S2. But her S2 is an AoE attack that didn't do a lot of damage, but now they added a 60% chance to add another burn effect AoE. That is so powerful. You're giving a control unit a way to do damage, which is not something that you typically see. Most control units don't have a way to reliably do damage. Like, you think Broman's not doing damage, right? But with Moonlight Armentia, you now have a way to control and do damage over time, like just every single turn while you wait for this skill to come back up. And if you have her on Abyssal Crown, you can stun people, extra burns. They will not be coming back from this. It just makes it almost like an auto win. If she gets off her S3, if you don't have Champ C, if you don't have a stupid high effect resistance unit, or you just don't get lucky with the 15% effect resistance, you just lose. It's kind of crazy. I think this is actually crazy. The other buff they gave her is the souls. This also lets her actually be part of a cleave team, and just gives her more potential to be in different cleave teams and different control teams. The soul burns are definitely really nice. So this soul increase actually kind of significant as well. The other one is the unhealable. This one just makes it's kind of like adding more layers. Just in case, like, for some reason a bruiser manages to survive, right? Like, let's say a Ravi manages to, or like a Ravi, so Ravi or a Ravi, Timeless Anchor, manages to cleanse the stun. Now they have unhealable, which basically is also another death sentence for them, because they are not going to be able to heal through all the burn damage SSR Armentia is going to be doing. So pretty powerful. Where will this matter? Control teams are one of the best ways to deal with tank teams. And tank teams just got Emerald Crawl which is an amazing addition to Bruiser and tank teams. Amazing addition to those teams. So tank teams are becoming the most prevalent teams in RTA. But with this Silverblade Araminthia buff, if you're playing a control, you have Broman, you have Silverblade, and you have like another stripper, like a Bazaar, those tank teams are not going to be able to do anything against you, because now they don't know who to ban. If they don't ban Silverblade and you get your Broman or your Bazaar, it's GG, because this is so much burn damage. This is so much burn damage with this skill. It's just so much. It's so powerful. Control teams actually might become the best team in RTA with this change, if you have all the units, of course. I'm thinking Champion Serato is going to become another really strong unit that to consider investing, because with MLR Minthia, if she becomes really, really strong, like really, really prevalent in the meta, then you're going to need a Champ C to actually deal with her, which is why she'll never be like oppressive, is because Champ C exists. So hopefully if you recall them, you still have managed to pull another one, so you can actually be able to make use of Champ C. But alright, next one. These ones are they're a little bit smaller, but definitely not bad. So Kise, again, another unit that was like borderline good. Like, she was usable, she could be used, not a bad unit at all, but this just made her really, really powerful. Why? So first, this extra penetration that you don't need the stealth, why this matters is mostly in case they actually get past your barrier, which does happen a lot. There are ways that people can actually get past the barrier. This just makes it more reliable for you to be able to do this without the stealth. The other thing is it also lets you the option of opening with skill 2. Like maybe if you're going against Spectre Tenebria, right? Instead of having to do S3 and then wait till you're S2, this can actually just let you do S2 right away and potentially kill Spectre Tenebria. So that part is also pretty nice. So it gives her more versatility in different types of scenarios. The biggest one though, I did not see this one coming. I know she needed something for the S3, like either immunity or something to let her take a turn to be able to do S3 into S2. This actually might be it. This is very similar to Vivian. If y'all remember Vivian is now able to S3, get her set up, get combat readiness, and protect herself, like with Vingazor. Essentially, that's what Kisa is doing, and then set up into a nasty S2. This essentially functions very similar to what Vivian is doing, where now you are able to set up for a big S2 and have the capability to actually make it in time before the enemy team is able to stop you, stop your Kisa from barriering. It's just overall really, really strong. This one also adds, it's basically like, because of the effect resistance 15%, it gives you more opportunities to actually put a skill on resets. That's all this is doing. Functionally, there's not that much of changes. It's just like more consistent because it's more checks for effectiveness, effect resistance. But this could actually make Kisa really, really powerful. With Emerald Craw being out and barriers being so prevalent with FCC, Rowana, all these different heroes that give barrier, Kisa definitely has a place to come in and destroy some bruiser teams. So this one could be a secret OP. I'm not going to call it yet. I do want to build her. I do want to see if the buffs are big. But this could make her extremely powerful with this setup, because I don't know, it looks really dangerous. Looks like it has potential, but not sure if it will be very, very powerful. Has potential though. Now Ravi, oh my goodness. So this one, she did not need a buff. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been using Ravi for a pretty long time. At this point, since y'all said you wanted Ravi, I built my Ravi. I've been using her for 2 months. I use her everywhere now. I use her in Guild Wars, I use her RTA, I use her in regular arena. Not because I'm trying to get clips, but because I genuinely enjoy how strong Ravi has actually become. I generally think that she's a very powerful unit. I generally think that she has potential to do a lot, and this is just like a extra. It's just like she really didn't need it. She really didn't need it, but this just makes it so she has more ways to be an annoying bruiser. So if y'all didn't know, this is a big buff for counter Ravi. So counter Ravi is able to attack and pretty often, right? And she gets more combat readiness. She's able to S1 again. With this buff, so this one just makes it so you really don't want to hit Ravi now, counter Ravi, because now counter Ravi was already scary. This just makes her scarier, because if you hit her, she has that extra 15% chance push up. You're giving her more rage. You're stacking up her passive. Now you also run the risk of her countering and stunning one of your units. The chance is very low. It will almost never proc, to be honest with y'all. But it adds an RNG layer that's just really, really annoying. So I like the RNG layer that it added. It's nice. You know, I'm not going to complain about it. The one I actually really like is this one. the effectiveness one. Um, a lot of the times, what makes Ravi so crushing is her S3. If she is able to get an S3 stun on priority units like Spectre Tenebria, like if she manages to hit Seaside, if she manages to hit like all these different like squishier targets that don't, or like even like a Ross or Lilius, in like a control team, like if you have Ross and Lilius, or if you have Lilius, for example, and you have a Dizzy on your team, Lilius doesn't use her turn, you go around, she saves that S3. If you're able to hit that AoE S3 onto the Lilius, she's not gonna have enough effect resistance now because this extra effectiveness push up. You will be able to get the stun, and it's just absolutely crushing. Every game that I get this S3 off properly, I win it. So this just makes it so you have more opportunities to actually be able to stun. Is Ravi broken? Ravi was already a good unit. She was already a solid pick against Alencia, a solid pick against Falconeer Clury, a solid pick against AoE teams overall that don't rely on SSB, of course. SSB destroys her. But it's just a nice quality of life change. I mean, it makes her better than she already was. So this just literally gives you more incentive to build your Ravi. So if you haven't built your Ravi yet, because you were wondering if she's good, and this change makes her even better and opens up even for like a control team Ravi. I think this actually does open up the avenue for a control Ravi. Do I think it's good? Probably not, but it does open up the option. Now, Ken, I had to ask one of the members in the Discord about this one. He didn't think Ken needed a debuff. They thought it was like, definitely doesn't need a debuff. They were like, but it would be nice, right? So they were like, Ken is already strong, could use a buff, but doesn't really need it, right? Like, Haste really needs it. But it's a pretty good buff. Like, looking at it, it's a pretty good. So if y'all didn't know about Bruisers, right now, the golden standard for a Bruiser is Alencia. Alencia is the golden standard for Bruisers because she's able to strip and she's able to decrease defense and kill units outright while still being tanky, right? So the changes they made to Ken really help him be a much better Bruiser. So first one, increasing the chance to decrease defense, really, really nice. Again, anytime you have someone, a Bruiser that can also apply debuffs, it's very, very powerful. Same idea that they're doing with Ravi. The other one that's also pretty strong is going to be the second one. So this skill, if y'all didn't know, it now has a 100% chance to decrease defense, right? So the S2 has a 100% chance to decrease defense. But if y'all didn't know, this skill already was able to ignore effect resistance with the S2. So that part was already kind of nice. So this one is just, again, another quality of life change if you do decide to do S2. From what I heard, though, is the S1 gives him 20 vigor. The S2 only gives him fighting spirit when he kills. So that's what it's a kind of a trade-off if you do decide to do this before you have vigor. This goes already good when you had vigor, but higher consistency, of course, with the 100%. So again, nothing crazy yet, right? The biggest buff actually comes from his ultimate. This is huge. So Ken really struggled because he's too slow. He takes way too long to set up. He takes a while to set up. It will take him on average 2 turns to actually set up because he used to take 100 fighting spirit. He gets 5 fighting spirit when he's attacked. He starts the fight with 50. He gets 20 from the S1 and he'll rarely ever get 40 from this. So it's like almost will never happen, right? So it would take at least 2 turns. And then on the 3rd turn, you'd be able to do the S3, which was really nice. And then on the 4th turn, which most cases the fight is already like over at that point, but usually on 4th turn you'd be able to do the S2 guaranteed decreased defense, which again, I think this is crazy. Like Ken's already pretty good, but this just makes him a lot faster in the fight. So he's able to apply a lot more pressure and is able to cycle more with the S3, is able to get that vigor up quicker, is able to get those guaranteed decreased defenses. This is huge because guaranteed decreased defense, y'all, that means you can set up the net and he can soul burn this skill to get an extra turn. So you can soul burn, do this skill, and then finish it off with an S1. And it's like, you can kill almost any unit in the game, which basically makes him kind of like a bruiser that if you don't get rid of him or if you don't control him in 3 turns, one of your units is dead. So very, very powerful. Very, very scary. Guaranteed decreased defense, that's extremely scary. He's going to be like a late scaling RTA unit. I already think he's good, but this just makes him better. It makes him a very strong bruiser now. The next one, this one I'm not gonna talk about a lot. Shadow Rose, I don't know why. Like Shadow Rose, she's already not good for PvP. she's a PvE unit for like one-shot teams, and for certain bosses, she's actually really, really strong. This is just like, okay, I guess it's easier to build her, right? So maybe you can build like very tanky Shadow Roses now. Maybe you can't build Shadow Rose for PvP. You know, maybe you can build like a knowing support Shadow Rose with the S2 because this cool the soul burn is here now, which means you can S2 into S2 if you soul burn it, and be annoying, keep stripping, keep decrease defensing. And then the increased effectiveness makes it so she can land on a lot of different targets. So maybe this will put her in PvP. I doubt it. She is a knight. She has a lot of support. But the increased effectiveness, it's like, okay, that's nice. You know, like, it's cool. Less build requirements. That's all I can say. Because you can open with S3, get the combo readiness, and then when you get the turn again, you'll be able to S2 better. You don't need as much investment in her. I think it's okay. This one, I think it's actually pretty crazy. The Kitty Cat Clarissa. Kitty Cat was already really good. This makes her a mini Bazaar. Why do I say that? This is guaranteed able to strip. There is not a lot of strippers in the game right now that are really powerful. So it's Broman and it's Bazaar, like the golden standards, right? Mui is coming up. Bisaria was coming up. And now we also have Kitty Cat Clarissa being similar to Bazaar in the fact that you can soul burn to strip buffs. So that's pretty good. I think it's good. I think it's when is needed. Does this make her broken? No. Does it make her a lot better? Yes, definitely, for PvE as well. She's not a mage though, so she's not able to do what Bazaar does, and she doesn't apply on unbuffable. But again, not bad. Definitely not bad. You're able to strip and apply on healable, guaranteed. Nothing to laugh at. No Abyssal Crown, of course. So it's like a mini Bazaar, if you want to think of it some way. Not gonna be broken, but definitely a good quality of life. General Burgess, I don't know why this guy needed it. Just more damage. You know, like he already performed his job well. This is just kind of like, okay, like he can do more damage. So that one's whatever. This one is interesting because some people use Celeste for opening up with some certain cleave teams. Because Celeste is really fast. If y'all didn't know this, Celeste is really, really fast. Can set up into a Sedum pretty easily. And now you also have the opportunity to push back a lot better. If you use Celeste, it's cool. Nothing crazy. Again, nothing that you should be worried about. Just another niche option that you can use and have some more fun with the game. And this one is kind of like, I mean, it makes sense. This is his worst exclusive. At first I saw Charles and I was like, why does he even need another buff? But then I saw it's like, it's not even that big of a deal. This one's like, it's okay. You know, it's okay. It's good for Speed Charles. You know, like now you can do more damage on Speed Charles. So that part's nice. Nice for Guild Wars. Why he needed it, I don't know. I didn't think he needed it. But alright. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope y'all let me know in the comments what buff you guys are hype about, what unit you're sad that didn't get a buff, and just let me know what you think. So that's all I got for you guys today, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.